very much, Jane, and welcome to all of you for coming out to this very, very special event, which is creating a healthy community for the city of Santa Barbara. We want to thank all of our sponsors who have done an outstanding job in convening this very well-renowned speaker, Dr. Dick Jackson, and also an excellent panel of local and regional experts dealing with all matters of community health and the environment. I also want to acknowledge our City Council and Planning Commission members who are here, Grant House, Mayor Pro Tem, and Helene Schneider, George Myers, the Chair of the Planning Commission, Bendy White, Bruce Bartlett, Stella Larson, and Addison Thompson, and all the boards and commissions of the cities. Let's give them a round of applause for their leadership in putting this general plan update together. As Jane mentioned, this whole event is part of Plan Santa Barbara. It's a multi-year effort to update the city's general plan. Of course, we'll be looking at all the elements, including land use, transportation, housing, open space, and so forth. And you are all well aware that Santa Barbara has a long history of innovation when it comes to city planning and environmental concerns. Way back 1982, the city passed the famous Charter Amendment, which requires the city to live within resources, and then later Measure E, which formed the basis for our current general plan and limited growth in both residential and non-residential areas. So we do hope to continue in this tradition, and we expect that we'll be examining new conditions that are affecting the city, including the environment, energy, water quality. Back in the 80s and early 90s, it was water supply that was one of the big issues here in town, as you all know. And of course, design, which Santa Barbara's care fiercely and care greatly about the quality of the physical environment, as well as all of these other factors. We expect we'll be reaffirming the growth framework that has been put in place and has served the city so well for so many years. Our process for updating the general plan began back in 2007 and actually earlier with a series of staff reports and studies. But we had a series of public workshops which went very well. We had hundreds of people participating throughout the city. And now we're launching with today's forum a community event series that includes more panels such as the one we're having today, and also a series of public workshops that will be held back in April and May of this year. So stay tuned, make sure you're on our mailing list so you can be made aware of all these upcoming events. But we have several years to go before the general plan will be fully updated and complete, and of course you'll know a lot about this by the time the process is over. I did want to just mention regarding our agenda today, we're going to have the keynote address by Dr. Jackson, and following that there will be a short break, so we will not have any Q&A after Dr. Jackson's presentation. We'll go into our panelists, and then we expect to have a Q&A and hopefully time for questions and answers there, and Dr. Jackson will join the panel, so we'll have an opportunity to get him interacting with everybody else. So that's how we'd like the day to progress. And now I have the very great pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker, Dr. Richard Jackson, who is both an MD and a public health professional. He has a very long and illustrious career. He's the former director of the Center for Environmental Health at the CDC, Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta. He's the former director for the State of California Departments of Health Services. So you can see his career spans many geographic areas of the country. He's also author with another gentleman of Urban Sprawl and Public Health. So he's been very active in documenting and researching the connections of health in the built environment. But also now, currently, he will be the director for the Graham Institute for Environmental Sustainability at the University of Michigan. They were very fortunate to steal him away from UC Berkeley. He'll be an endowed professor of public health there, and really adding greatly to the profession and to this whole field. Dr. Jackson certainly lectures all over the world, and as the vanguard of this whole movement linking environment and health, he could be giving 3 talks a day, as he likes to say, and he pretty much just about does that. And he's very sought after, as you know, as a speaker for many conferences and events such as this. He's been tireless in his pursuit of these issues. He's been inspiring generations of professionals across a wide spectrum of disciplines, not only in medicine and health, but also public policy, architecture, urban planning, environmental design, and many others. And he's taught us how our personal health and our community health and our family health all really are indeed our most important assets. And so let's give Dr. Dick Jackson a very warm Santa Barbara welcome.